chapter number 11, input output in C. Console input output. What will be the output of this program? As this is an character array, or what the heck. Then we have S, this %S, then S3, %S3. So what do you expect? First of all, this S, because this is %S, this whole array will be shown. Then S3, there will be nothing. S3 with S, %S, there will be a garbage content. But when you say %S3, you are pointing to the third value. So you start with this 0, 1, 2. Third means you go up to 2. After this you have W and all these things. Then you show this. Now we have print bit by bit. I take a byte, and one more printing is there, this one. So there is no problem. %S, whatever you give inside will be printed. You have a character array. We have say these are the contents. Now you want to print from 0 to 4. Okay, so this is 0, first array, 1, 2, 3, 4. From 0 to 4 it will be printed. So this all will be printed. Then we have one more character array, and this I we start with 0 and pi not equal to /0. Then we put character, all this pi starting from 0 and I++. So the content, this content will be shown, or there is no problem. All the character means put character will put the character on the screen. What are the errors, if any? First of all, one thing is very clear. When you use these functions or more functions when we are using, we ought to have stdio.h. So this will be universal. If you don't see this, this is the thing you need to include. Let us see some other. Now we have name and prof. Enter the name of favorite footballer. This, enter your profession. So there is no error. There is no problem here. Even if you want to print with this name or with the %prof0, they are pointing to the same first character, and it will be shown. The content will be shown. This is message. Enter your message, and %s message. This is getS. In this getS, we have a format specifier. This cannot be used in getS function. This is the error here. Now this is main. Char is key, character is key, and press any key. And this is scanf, %c, %key. So there is no error. But this putS, you might have used getC. Use of this getch would be more logical. Then we have here character, and you want to print %s with %s0 and then s5. So what will be printed? And first of all, viruses at last will be printed here. And for this %s5. So what will be printed? Because this is string. So you go up to 5. That is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 till this 0 to 4. So 5 has been completed. This ES at last will be printed. So there is no error as such. Now this is again an character array, and you want to print. But this has to be initialized. So the error is, first of all, this I is not defined. And when we use an array of pointers to the string, the array should be initialized where it is declared. It has to be initialized. This is main. We have int float, and this is scanning of %d and j. So no error is there, but this /n, this is not recommended when you use scanf. Inside scanf, this is not recommended. Answer this. To receive the string, this one, in an array, this one, which of the following function would you use? The best one is, which one is this? getS. getS is the best one. Which function would you use if a single key is to be received through the keyboard? Single key. So the best one is getche. If an integer is to be entered through the keyboard, which function would you use? Integer is to be entered. For that, the best one is scanf. These are originally meant for the string. If a character string is to be received through the keyboard, which function would work faster? Which one of them? The answer is getS. Scanf has all those format specifiers. What is the difference between getchar, fgetchar, getch, and getche? So the common thing is all receive the character from the keyboard. This is the similarity. All of them does equally same job. But there are certain minor differences, like this getch. It receives a character from keyboard without echoing it on the screen. While this getche does the same thing, receive a character from the keyboard, and it echoes this on the screen. Getchar. So it receives a character from the keyboard, but you have to enter, or you have to hit the enter key after the character. fgetchar, this is similar to getchar, and this getchar is a macro, while this fgetchar is a function. The format string of printf function can contain, these are the options for you. So this printf format string can contain what? It can contain characters, conversion, specification, and escape sequences. So this one is the correct answer. A field width specifier in a printf function does what? Field width. So it specifies how many columns will be used to print the number. Write down two functions xgetS and xputS, which work similar to the standard library function getS and putS. So getS is getting string, putS is putting the string. So let us try and make it. So we have a program which will try to replicate the getS and putS function. stdio conio, we have a character array here, and we ask the user to enter a sentence is in X putS. Then whatever he has entered, we have entered it in getS, sent, and then after putting some new line characters, we just used this X putS again. Now we pass this sent here inside. So this will, whatever the user has entered, it will be printed. Okay, and then we finally come out with getCH. So X putS and X getS. X putS means putting the string. So it will take a character array, while this star S means the value at this S. While we are not reaching to the end, we are just putting the value at S and we are just incrementing S++. So this is what X putS would look like. And for X getS, as you see here, X getS, you can get a carriage return also, some backspace also, /0 also. So we have to cater all these things, and after taking care of all these things, we'll be taking this CH and printing it. So how we have to do? We'll take an integer and a character from 0 to 98, because we are restricting ourselves. You can, it is being given. The question says, write down the function which works similar to standard library, and we just said, okay, we'll take up to 100. That is how. So we just limited it. Otherwise, there is no necessity of this. This is just to restrict. Then you take a character. If it is carriage return, or this is actually carriage return, then you see this star as value at this, you have to put as /0 and then break. If it is backspace, means if the element is here backspace, so you have to go back to the previous element. For that, you have to say I-1s and S-, and you just have to print this B. Otherwise, you just take this CH in this star S and just say S++. Write down the function getInt, which would receive a numeric string from the keyboard, convert it to an integer number, and return the integer to the calling function. A sample usage of getInt is shown here. So this is a main function. A is there, you get an int, transfer it to A, and just print with %d. So what you're going to do here is, we have basically this function we are interested in. So we'll ask for a numeric string. If this getInt, we transfer it to A and we just print it. So what this getInt does, we have taken a character string here and we are just restricting it till 5. So every time we take one string, this string input from the keyboard. If it is /r, we go inside, we have to put /0 and we break. Otherwise, if it is /b, we have to go back, so I-, and we just print /b. Otherwise, we say I++. Now here, what we're trying to do, just observe it very carefully. We have started J with the next one, that is, this is I and I-1 we start, or the last one we start. See, I-1, if this is from 0 to I, we are starting, because this cannot be from 0 to, if we are starting with 0, it cannot be from 0 to I, it should be I-1. So we are starting with I-1 till we reach the end, means J-, till we reach this point. So we have taken the value, added the value with the strj-48, we want to convert into the numeric value. So the character value to numeric value, we have to subtract with 48. And every time we multiply, k equal to k into 10. So if say 1, 2, 3 has come, how to convert it into the numeric? First of all, we have to take 1, or take 3, say 3. We have initialized k with 1, so 3 into 1 first time. Then we take 2, add this 2 and multiply now with 10. So 2 into 10. Now this is what? 23. Now we take this 1 and multiply it with 100. So this is 100 plus 23. So 123 is now a numeric value. This is how it is done. I don't find any error here. It is perfectly fine. File pointer fopen. The only thing is stdio.h has to be included. In this, what is the error? The double is equal to sign is the error. It has to be single and there has to be some extension here. And this is a code in which we just have to see here. Okay, everything is fine. Only you need to use the capital null, because this, this is a macro and this null means this has been defined as 0. So capital NULL should be used. Then stdio.h, try C, trial.c, RR. So both the file are open, no problem with FP. This will be assigned to FP, then again this will be assigned to FP. There is no problem. The problem is here in fclose, both the files are being pointed by FP. There is no error as such, but for fclose we have to use separately for FP and FT. These two cannot be done. Then we have again some AC, AV0, no problem with that. This is argument, number of arguments in command line. When you run the C program in command line, you write say like this. You write the name of the program, then you have number of counts and the variables. So these variables, how many variables, or you can say how many strings you are giving. This is actually this integer number, and these 1, 2, 3. This is an array. So this AV is there. So you can easily print this D and this AV0 with %s. The macro file is defined in which of the following files? Macro file is defined in stdio.h. True and false. The disadvantage of high-level disk input-output function is that the programmer has to manage the buffers. The answer is false, because in high level we don't have to worry about the buffers, but in low level we do have to consider the buffer handling. If a file is opened for reading, it is necessary that the file must exist. Yes, it is true. If a file opened for writing already exists in its content, would be overwritten. This is also true. For opening a file in append mode, it is necessary that the file should exist. This is false. If it is not existing, the file will automatically be created. On opening a file for reading, which of the following activities are performed? Opening a file for reading. The answer is the disk is searched for existence of the file. When the file is brought into the memory, and a pointer is set up which points to the first character in the file. So all of the above is the answer. Which of the following are the correct ways of opening a file? We have a file pointer. All these. This is the command line version. Scanf, scanning up the file name. Here we are taking the file name. Again, taking the file name from the argument which is in the command line, and we are opening it with read mode, closing it, closing it, closing it. So there is no problem. All of the above is correct. Write a program to count the number of words in a given text file. So number of words, just consider this line. How many number of words are there? 1, 2, 3. But how do we know these are separate words? With the blank, with this blank, with this blank. So the logic will be, we'll try to see how many blanks are there. So we have to count the total number of words in a file. And just we are assuming that we can give some maximum character just to make our program some compactness, give some compactness. So we have a str file name, this we have created, then blanks, this blank which I was talking about. So we opened a file, we asked for, we had a file pointer, we asked for the file name, and then we got the name, we opened it in the read mode. If it is not opening, we say there is an error and we come out. Otherwise, we start with blanks equal to 0. We take this from fs, the chunk 100 chunk means 100 content in the str which is the buffer, and then we just say len, because we know that it is transferred as /r/n, so we have to subtract 2. Now the length is there. Now from 0 to length, we just try to find out whether there is a blank or not. If there is a blank, we just increment the blank, right? This is what we have to do. Finally, we print the blanks here. Write a program to store every character typed at the keyboard into the file. The procedure should come to an end as soon as the character this is hit from the keyboard. So the program is something like this: store every character typed at the keyboard into a file. So we have stdio conio. We have again some file name. We have just restricted it to 67. We have a file pointer, some variable, character variable. We asked for the file name, we entered the file name, and then we try to open the file name in the write mode. If it is not opening, we raise some error and we come out. Otherwise, we ask the user to type some sentence, and we ask the user specifically that you have to give a tilde sign, so that the program assume that you have done your work. So here we start with while. When the get ch, until it is not this tilde sign, we take ch. If it is this /r, that is the carriage return, we put a /n, and we put character this /n into, we just print this /n, and then /n has to be placed into fp, because as this /r has to be given specifically, and then we continue. Otherwise, if it is not the case, /r is not there, we just put all the characters which we got into the fp, and finally we come out. So this is how we do this program. Write a program to remove all blank lines from a file. So how do we know that a line is blank? For example, this is a blank line. How do we know that? We'll see just now. This is a program to remove all the blank lines from the file. So we have stdio conio. Now we have two macros, printable and non-printable. This is a command line program. So this is file, this is source, and this is target. We'll take all the content which are not blank to the target file. So we have taken some variable. Here what we are doing is we are trying to find out that, because this is a command line, this is the file name, this is the first string, this is the second string. First string is what? It is the source. Then we have a target. So we have to see this argument count has to be 3. Otherwise, we just say that there is not enough parameter. So we take the first argument, this is argument 1, we try to open it. If it doesn't open, we raise an error and we come out. Then we say line equal to non-printable, and as we have just seen, we have described it as, or defined it as, a macro. Then we start taking character one by one till we reach end of file. If the character is not /n, that is /n is not there, that is carriage, this is line feed, then we assign this ch to stri and we increment I++. If it is space or tab, because a blank line can have spaces or a tab, then we assign printable now to line and we continue. So this we go on and on, otherwise we just place a /0 at the end. If the line is printable, we print this str and we transfer this str to this ft target, and then we do non-printable equal to line, and then we again reinitiate with I equal to 0. Then we close the source and target. This is how we do it. Write a program to remove all comments from a C program file. So comment is specifically we have to see for this a slash followed by a star. Then all the contents we have to just skip or do something with them and see that it must follow or it must end with a star and a slash. So we have to remove comments from a C program. This is stdio conio. We have a source and a target. So we have a source and target file. First of all, we ask the user to enter the C file name. We just took it with getS, try to open in read mode. Then if it is null, then we raise some error, we come out. Otherwise, we ask for the target file name. We again take the file name with getS and try to open it in write mode. Again, if it is some error, then we just come out. Then when from the source file, we take one by one character till we reach the end of file. If it is slash, see, now we are looking at slash. If it is slash, we check for the next character. If it is star, this is the first checking, this is the second checking. We call a function which is called as incomment. We'll see about incomment in a bit. Otherwise, we just take this C to FT and D to FT. This C, the character, this one to FT is D to FT, because if they are not this slash and star, we just copy it to the target file. And we do it with others as far till the time we don't get the culminating or ending star and slash. This is what this incomment do. So this incomment function we'll just see, where first we have to close this, and this incomment function we have C and D, we get S from Fs. And now if C is this one, means first one is this and the next one is this, then we understand, okay, now this is a comment. So inside this, all this get C has to be driven out, and just we assign D to C and this Fs to D, and again check for incomment. Write a program to encrypt and decrypt a file using an offset cipher. So what is an offset cipher? In an offset cipher, each character from a source file is an offset with a fixed value and then written to a target file. For example, say if we are taking A, then we are just adding 128. This is the offset 128. So if it is B, we add 128 to it. This is how we have to, and when we decrypt it, we have to subtract all those with the encrypted version with 128. So this is stdio.h, conio.h. We have to encrypt and decrypt a file using offset cipher. We have a source and a target. So we have a source and a target file. So this is a command line version. We just check that whether you have given enough argument or not. Otherwise, we say please type like this in the command prompt. We try to open the first one, argument 1. If it is okay, Fs is null, we say if it is okay. Otherwise, if it is not okay, we exit. Again, we take the second argument in the write mode, and if it is not opening, we say that there is an error, we come out. Then the argument C can be C and capital C. So what we are trying to suggest here is, for C, if C is there, we are means for C and D, for C we are encrypting, for D we are decrypting. So we have to check for the third argument also. So for C, we will code it. For any other than C and this capital C, we decode it. We close the file now. Now we have to see about this code and decode. So we just take one by one character from the source file till we reach the end of file, and we just add a 128 character to it and put the character into the target file. Similarly for decoding, we take one by one character, we decrypt, we subtract 128 and again put the character to the FT, means target file. A similar version, or you can say a flavor, is a substitution cipher. So in this, each character read from the source file is substituted by a corresponding predetermined character, and this character is written to the target file. For example, if we have A, we have decided just that A, for A, all A, will put an exclamation mark, right? So wherever A is there, exclamation mark has to be, means A has to be replaced with the exclamation mark. Similarly, we have decided that B has to be changed to this 5, and like this. So what we will do, encrypt and decrypt, again the same scenario will be there. We'll stdio conio, these are two files for source and target. This is a command line argument. So if it is not 4, we say please enter like this. This C and D is for coding and decoding, encrypting and decrypting. So we take this argument 1, we try to open. If it is not, we give an error, we come out. We try to open the second one in write mode. If it is there is an error, we come out. Then if this is C, means we want to encrypt it, we go to this function code. We want to decrypt it, we go to decode function. Then we close it. So we have to see this code and decode function, and we have to close this. So this code function does what? In this coding, we have to just put this array, two arrays. Why? Because we have decided this has to be replaced by this one. Say P has to be replaced by 2 like this. So all these characters have to be taken into a static array. And now because this cannot be given, this is a special way. We have to give 2 slashes. Similarly for /n/t. That is why we have taken it separately. Now for every character we go from 1 to 1, right? And we take the character from array 1 and put the similar character from array 2 to the target file. This is what is done. In decode, what we do, again we have 2 characters, and this similar for the special characters which is understood by only the compiler. So here what we do, so one more thing was remaining in this. What we have done here is, because this is a source file, and we have just seen this, that we are transferring this, say this position. I'll show you here. So we have to take exactly this position and we have to replace this with the exact replica, or you can say the decided character replacement. So now let us come to decode. Decode has similar characters and we have placed it like this. In decode, what we'll do here is, in decode, we'll just take the placed by the character at array 1. This is the final solution. So this is all about the discussion we just had, and this is the solutions here or here. First of all, we have to include the stdio.h. Then this f put s, it needs 2 argument, not 1 argument. And here we need to use null for the end of file. Next is this program. Is there something fishy about this? First of all, stdio.h, and there's this fgetS, it needs 3 argument. It needs 3 argument, that is str, then the buffer size, then fp. And for EOF, for fgetS, we use null here, null, capital. In this, can you find any error here? %s name and %d %age. First of all, stdio has to be included, and here end of file, because we are using fscanf, we cannot use null here. We have to use the end of file with the fscanf to check the end of file. Is it necessary that a file created in a text mode must always be opened in text mode for subsequent operation? This is very true. A file opened in binary mode and read using fgetC would report the same number of characters in the file as reported by some operating system directory command. It is true. While using this statement, this one fopen, we have a file name, we have tried to open it in read mode. So what happen if this does not exist, this file does not exist on the disk, and when this file exists on the disk? So if this myfile.c does not exist on the disk, it will return null. If myfile.c exists on the disk, then the file is loaded into the memory and the file pointer is set to the first character in the file. What is the purpose of library function fflush? In the keyboard there is a buffer, so we have to flush it for some multiple input keyboard it has taken. While using the statement, this one myfile.cwb, what happens if this myfile.c does not exist or myfile.c exists? See, if the file does not exist on the disk, then the file or new file will be created, and if the file exists on the disk, then the file is destroyed and a new file will be created in this case. A floating point array contains percentage marks obtained by student in the examination. To store these marks in a file marks.c, in which mode would you open the file and why? We will open the file in binary mode. Why? Because in binary mode, a float occupies only 4 bytes when stored in a file, but if we store it as a text or text mode file, here the number of bytes which are occupied by a float depends on the length of the float. Write a program which print out only those lines from a file which are containing more than 80 characters. So we'll check for the length of the character or the number of characters which are greater than 80. Also print out the line numbers of these lines. So print out lines containing more than 80 characters. stdio conio we added. We have a source here, fs, and we have a string or a character buffer. We start with line number equal to 1. We can start with 0 also because we are going to increment it anyways. Enter source file. We took the file name in the getS. Then we checked after opening in the read mode. If it doesn't open, we exit. Then here comes the logic. We getS with this buffer size from fs to str. If the string length of this str is greater than 80, then we increment the line number. We print also. This is how it is done. Write a program that will concatenate 2 files, that is append the content of one file at the end of another and write the result in the third file. That is, we have 2 files. We have to take this one here, second one here. So we have to append them, or you can say concatenate source1.txt with source2.txt and transfer it to target.txt. So this is a program to concatenate two files. This is stdio conio.h. This is a command line program. So we have this source1, this is source2, and this is our target text file. Here what we do, we will check for how many arguments are there, 1, 2, 3 and 4. If it is not there, we'll say please enter in the correct format. Then we take the first argument, we check for opening in the read mode. If it is not, we come out. Again we go for this second text file, we try to open it read mode. If it doesn't open, then we come out. Now the third one, we open it in write mode. If it is not opening, we come out. If everything remains fine, then we take from the first one character, put it into the FT using put C, then we close it. For the second one, from the second FS2, what we do, we similarly take one by one character till the end of file and put it in FT. So what we have done, we have taken one by one character from the first file to the target one. From second also, all this is done. From second also, we transfer it here. So finally, we get a file and we close it. And this is the combination of two files. A file contains a C program, but by mistake, a novice has typed it out in capitals. So it's a long program. You cannot afford to have retyped it. You have to write a utility which reads this program, convert the appropriate small case program and write it to the target file. So we have to convert the small case to uppercase to small case. We need to use the fgetS and fputS. So what will we do here? We'll write a program. This is to convert capital lettered file into small case letter file. This is stdio io.h, conio.h. This is fsft. So we have a source and a target and a string. We enter the source file name in the getS source. Then we try to open it. If it doesn't open, then we just come out. Then we enter the target file name and we try to open it. If it doesn't open, we come out. Then this is the logic. What we will do, we'll take the one by one chunk. We'll use a function strlwr. This str, we feed inside, and the converted version we will transfer it to the FT. We close fs and FT. This is how it is done. Record IO, low level disk IO. So we have to point the error. File FP, character name. This is 20 we have taken. This is say student.c, and we opened it in the right binary. So this is from 0 to 10 we have taken. Enter the name, got the name, and just F written the name with the size of name 1 FP. So what is the error? The error is, first of all, stdio.h has to be there, and this size of it has to be one word. This has to be one word, not like this, right? And one more thing is there. We can't use this close because we have open with fopen. So this has to be fclose. This is a file, and what is the error here? See, everything is okay. This is an array, and this has to be one word. So the problem here is, first of all, stdio.h has to be there, and the fclose should be used to close the file. fcntl, here open and close are being used. So only the error is, because we are opening it, R cannot be used. We have to use this O read only. This should be used in place of R. Again we have fp, fopen, and then we are closing using close. So fopen and close. This, first of all, for using this, this kind of situation, we have to have a stat.add should be included instead of fopen. This has to be seen. And this read and binary will not work. We have to use O underscore, that is O underscore read only and O underscore binary. So this is all about the input output in file. Thank you so much and take care of yourself.